That's the biggest high point of all. Roman Reigns is back, Kevin. I am ecstatic to see it. When this moment was so well done, pal. Like I just everything about it. You got this bloodline fiasco in the main event. You got botching aplenty with these incompetent mid card Samoans, Solo Sikoa, who just should not be in that position. You got Tonga Loa, pal. Fatu came in and nearly did his ACL on that big dive spot. All this is going on. You got Cody being pushed into the turnbuckles. They missed the turnbuckles. All this stuff's going on. Cody and Sikoa are going back and forth. They're both down, and then you hear this remix version of the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns song. It's like more like he's a god ascending from heaven, pal. The way they've done this music. Roman storms out there. Michael Cole and McAfee are screaming. The one thing about this, which I found funny, pal, because the SummerSlam entrance way was so long, it felt kind of weird. Roman just kept walking. He kept walking. He had to start running towards the ring. He Superman punches Sikoa, pal. Then does the biggest hoorah we've ever heard. Spears Sikoa. And then Cody wins. And then they do the post-match where Roman's he's looking at Cody, but it isn't really a hateful look. He's just sort of looking at him. And Cody's he's doing the eyes emoji where he's like, what's going on? What's going on? So, yeah, great stuff, pal. Roman's back. What a superstar. This is one of the greatest of all time back in front of our eyes, pal. This man carried the WWE on his back for 5 years, Kevin. This is the star in wrestling. And to see him come back, now he's the biggest face in wrestling. Who knows where we go from here, pal, but I'm thrilled to see it.
Oh, man. I'm going to address the elephant in the room in a moment. I have to say this first. Mm-hmm. That return, honestly, I think that's the biggest pop of all time. I think that pop that Roman got, I think that's better than anything we've ever seen. Even better than Austin's return in 2000 at Backlash. That was nuts. And this was the babyface. This is the babyface version of Roman Reigns that WWE knew he could be back in 2015. It's kind of crazy. I remember literally everybody within the industry would say in interviews oh yeah, Roman Reigns, he's the next guy, pal. Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, you name it. Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, all these guys would be yeah, Roman Reigns, he's the next guy, pal. And we saw him get booed in the 2015 Royal Rumble with his cousin there, and The Rock's wait, they don't boo me, I'm The Rock. Wait, what? I'm here. And that wasn't enough. And it's really nice to see Roman finally hit that pinnacle of success that we all knew he could hit as a good guy. And we're in for some cinema now, pal. This is going to be some real cinema with the original Tribal Chief, good guy Roman back. He's coming after Solo Sikoa. And I hate to say it, but it's up. Time is up for Solo. He really is like John Cena, pal. Remember we were joking one time that Solo Sikoa is going to be John Cena? That's just going to be his character. He's turning into John Cena. His time is up as a top guy. Do you remember that? Do you remember that horrible segment we had where we were just oh, Solo's gonna come back and Cena. You can't see me. Hustle, loyalty, respect. But yeah, call back to that.
They literally did that as well. Solo beat Cena for no reason, and then he did nothing for 4 months. Then he became Cena overnight, and he didn't lose a match for 6 months, and he was cutting 20-minute promos in the main event as if anyone asked for that. So yeah, I'll pass you in a second, but the dynamic of this, watching 4 months of this mid-carder, Solo Sikoa, cutting promos like he's tribal Jesus, like he's Roman Reigns, 20-minute promos, he's bashing up Paul Heyman, they're beating up people on SmackDown. It sets it up perfect. So when Roman comes back, it's oh my God, thank God, Roman's here. Oh my God, brilliant booking, pal, cinematic booking. Back to you, pal.
Yeah, it's unbelievable what's going on with Roman. But back to Solo, though. So his time is up. I think it's a top guy. I really think he had his moment. I think once he feuds with Roman, which is where we're going, obviously, it's going to be Roman versus Solo. Whenever that feud ends, Solo's just going to be oh, okay, yeah, this guy's here. Upper mid-card guy. Maybe he hits a fifth gear that we don't know that he has yet, and he unlocks something else. It could happen. It's happened before with a ton of wrestlers. But the Solo Sikoa that we've seen throughout the past year and a half, 2 years now, I don't think that guy has the potential to be a top guy, building block, cornerstone of the company. We've seen it now. We've seen more than enough of a sample size of this guy. And yeah, I just think once Roman beats his ass, and that's it. Solo's gonna be an upper mid card guy. He's gonna fall back in line, pal, and in the bloodline. And who knows? Well, who knows what's gonna happen? We don't know. But good.
True. That was going to be cinematic, but I think the biggest story here is a top 10 all time guy, Roman Reigns, coming back the way he did and asserting himself back atop the mountain like he never left. Kevin, this was chills. And seeing him, the way he's looking at Cody Rhodes,
Right. Right.
he's just above him in the hierarchy. Like, he all knows it. He's just looking at Cody, and Cody's just the guy with the title, pal. Good guy, Cody Rhodes, working 6 days a week, pal. Whoa. Roman's just above this guy. So yeah, Roman Reigns, what a return. I can't wait to see what they do. He's advertised to SmackDown, pal. We're going to get more of the OTC, pal, the original tribal chief. Michael Cole mentioned that he used the words Roman Empire when Roman speared Solo Sikoa. So we're going to get more of the big dog jacking his fist, pal. Roman Reigns. Hoorah! Pal, I'm so excited. This is going to be legacy, this content. I cannot wait.
Listening to you speak is making me sick right now. Are we gonna sit here and pretend like you haven't spent the better part of our full-time run, pal, since the end of, or yeah, the beginning of 2023, end of 2022? We're gonna sit here and pretend like you haven't spent the better part of 18 months trashing Roman Reigns, hating on him, calling him a babysitter, saying he's the most expensive, most highly paid babysitter in the world, amongst other things, just discrediting him any chance you can. Now all of a sudden, what is it now? Why are you back on the Roman Reigns truck, pal? Back on the bandwagon?
Back on the bandwagon. I just call things like I say it, pal. I say one of the greatest of all time, make a legend. What you said, yeah, maybe the biggest pop of all time return. I'm like, this is legacy. This is massive. Pal, everything I said at the time is justified regarding his babysitter status. Sitting at home, gatekeeping championships on some couch in Pensacola, pal, as Cody Rhodes is doing all the work, carrying the company at the time. That's what happened. But now, pal, it is clear as day, the biggest star in the business, the face, the megastar, Roman Joseph Anawai Reigns, pal. He's back to destroy his incompetent Samoan family members who can't even hit spots correctly. You've got Cody Rhodes being shoved into, supposed to be the turnbuckle, but they missed the turnbuckles. You got Fatu diving off the rope and nearly tearing his meniscus, hitting it on the announce table, pal. Sikoa's botching. Pal, Roman's back to save us, pal. It's amazing to see, pal. One of the greatest of all time. Roman Reigns will be Mount Rushmore within a year or two. That's the truth of the matter, pal. And whether people like it or not, that's the reality of wrestling.
This is unbelievable. You spent 18 months trashing this guy at every opportunity you can. Literally 18 months. It all started back in Elimination Chamber 2023, where you just became a Roman Reigns hater. You know, now he's top 10 all time. Interesting. Okay, we'll address that later on. We'll leave that here. It's nice to see Jimmy's character change now. Now he's a Roman Reigns fan once Roman Reigns is a good guy again. So there you have that.
Pal, at least I'm consistent with my appreciation of Roman Reigns, pal. You fluctuate more than I do.
All
right, so pal, there's our initial main event thoughts.
Wait. Let's talk about the match. Let's talk about Cody versus Solo for a moment.
Please do.
I think Cody, we got to give him some flowers here for getting a pretty good match, for pulling a pretty good match out of Solo at this stage in Solo's career. I mean, that match had no business being as good as it was, even with all the botches and whatnot. I was still pretty invested. And I still liked the match. I still enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed this match far more than I did Solo versus Cena, for example, last year. I thought it was a pretty good match. Maybe not a match that, in 10 years, we'll look back and say, oh, wow, that was a big-time SummerSlam headliner, big-time match. And I do think, what's the symbolism here with Roman returning during the match, costing Solo the match? It seems like they were planting the seeds for Roman versus Cody Part 3 at some point, because they were Michael Cole was like, oh, these guys aren't friends, don't get it twisted, or whatever he was saying, something along that line. So what do you think?
Next time they do Roman and Cody, Roman's the face, Cody's the heel. That's my take on it, because I mean we've seen the 2 installments where Cody's the all-conquering babyface you gotta love, and Roman's the evil tribal chief pal who never shows up. They've done that twice. Next time, have Cody be a bad guy or a heel or something. Change up the dynamic. Keep it fresh if you're going to do it again, because We've had 2 gripping installments, pal, at both the last 2 WrestleManias. If you're going to do it again, change it up a bit. We don't need to see, obviously, Roman's not the same as he was now. He's now a different, he's the OTC, pal. He's the OTC. Hoorah! Pal. But yeah, speaking of the match, I look at the WWE right now, and I think who besides Cody could get a better match out of Solo Sikoa that I'd care to see? Because, I mean, probably Gunther could do a better match because it'll be legitimately shoot chops, shoot headbutts, and you'd be like, oh my God, and it'd be like shoot physical. Sure, it'd be like more gripping in that regard, I guess. But would I care about the storyline if Gunther and Solo were feuding? Probably not. Who else? McIntyre, maybe with Solo, but like Cody's one of the best in-ring guys in the company. Maybe Seth Rollins if he like really wants to flip around, do all the Seth Rollins magic. But Cody's on a short list of some of the best in-ring guys in the company for making Solo Sikoa a somewhat compelling SummerSlam main event. Solo has no right to be in this position. It was clearly how Solo is like someone who can barely swim in the deep waters here. Cody can swim in deep waters, pal. Roman can swim in deep waters. The Hollywood Rock can swim in the deep waters. Solo belongs in the kiddie pool. That's the reality of this business, pal. So, yeah, that became clear to say. I'm watching this. Tonga Loa, some of these other Samoa, they belong in the kiddie pool as well. Fatu waits to be seen. He could be in the deep end, but sooner or later, he seems to learn how to do an announce table dive spot without nearly tearing his whole leg apart. But yeah, really good stuff, pal. I loved it.
No, the rumor is Fatu's not actually injured. That they just had him sell the injury so that so they didn't have to have him and Roman interact yet.
That too, pal. It was the same bump as Punk took when he dove to the Undertaker at WrestleMania 29, and Punk tore up his knee for 6 months. So I saw that, I was like, oh God, 6-month meniscus injury. Oh, podcast with Colt Cabana, pal. Triple H didn't put me onto the medical team. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, Jesus.